are from Kansas Senior High School and we're going to represent you Star Wars, the Ideology Reviews. Enjoy. 对啊，主要是有音源线。有。这是 VG 还是 VG 吗？这都是 VGA 的。
Where are the transmissions you intercepted? What have you done with those plans? Tear the ship apart until you find the ideology. Look like an escape pod was jettisoned with the transmissions to Tatooine.
Tatooine. The plain, desolate place with nothing but sand. Not even the flag of the Empire. It is a place that doesn't move on with the others. Retrogressive in development and harsh in weather. As Luke Skywalker once said, there is really not much to see. Somehow, George Lucas decided to use this planet to start his galactic adventures. For those who are true Star Wars fans, you will surely know that comparing to others, this planet is extraordinary. Because when you look into somewhere distantly, gazing into the farthest place your sight can barely reach, you will see, well, you will see nothing. Look at the black dude on the screen. He freaked out. Where am I? Where should I head? What will happen to me? What is this place? He was simply clueless and uncertain about the future. And that is what we think George Lucas wants to convey through Tatooine. A sense of mystery blankets the cinema that leads the audience to a journey of unknown. Shot in an actual desert located in Tunisia, Tatooine is not just a fantasy, but a real place, just like some other planets in Star Wars. We brought our familiar Earth to the outer space, and we expanded it. The weather, the landform, and even the living beings. Most of the creatures in Star Wars are actually in man form. But allow me to ask, why man?
As we just mentioned, we expanded the actual environment of our Earth to the imagination of the outer space. The reason of this is a strong sociology concept, ethnocentrism. When we humans meet a new culture that's different from ours, in this case would be the imagination of beings of the outer space, we would suppose them to be just like us, with the identical man form, similar variety of natural environments. Ethnocentrism has made a huge impact on our society. We assume others should be like us, similar to our habits, to the way we live, and even to our thoughts. It has indirectly influenced history, including some severe violation of human rights during the World War II.
Now, after talking about the opening of Star Wars, it's time to move on to what makes this film so special. The iconic characters. The Jedi, Darth Vader, Princess Leia, and the Sith. These all-time classics have gone down in history, and they still live on. They are the souls of this film, the things that make Star Wars, Star Wars.
You totally got it, my man. But what if I tell you that these well-known characters aren't 100% original?
Aren't 100% original? I beg your pardon, have you lost your mind?
No, they exactly aren't 100% original.
So who created the characters in the first place?
The Japanese.
Japanese?
The Japanese.
Japanese?
Yes, the Japanese. The man who made all this series, George Lucas, is greatly influenced by a famous Japanese director, Akira Kurosawa, the one in the middle. He put several ideas that were borrowed from Akira's movie.
Pardon? Borrow? How can you borrow ideas?
Alright, he stole it. The samurai fighting scene, the presence of a great army, and the way it was shot, and the characters. Princess Leia, C-3PO, and R2-D2, even our Master Yoda, are inspirations after seeing the two great movies, The Seven Samurai and The Hidden Fortress. By the way, these Japanese movies are called Jedi Keki. Sound familiar? That's where the word Jedi came from.
Oh, that explains why the Jedis and the samurais have so many similarities. Even the cool helmet of Darth Vader's is inspired by a samurai armor. The Japanese culture really influenced Star Wars a lot. Yet, it is not the only one that inspired George Lucas. The Germans also did. When we go deep into the relationship between the Sith, the Jedi, and the Empire, we can actually see the dark past and the reflection of the World War II.
The bloody massacre of a race. The brutal dictatorship. Rule without legitimacy. Kill without sense of mercy. Above are all reflection of the most terrifying force in World War II. Sharing the same idea of totalitarianism, the Sith and the Empire resemble the idea of Hitler and Nazi.
George Lucas really put a great effort into making this movie. The historical events, the badges, and even the uniform exactly matches the reality. Even stormtroopers, the army of the Empire, are actually real troops of Nazi. George Lucas clearly created an image that Nazi is the dark side, is the bad guy, under the fact that he loved Jews. When you talk about the crews, most of them are actually Jewish, and the famous, beloved character, Han Solo, acted by Harrison Ford, is also a Jew. When the Nazi is the dark side, the Jews will be the bright side. When the Nazis are Sith, then the Jews will be the Jedi.
The Jedi is actually a group of extremely gifted people with the same belief of the Force. Chosen by the Force, they also believe that there will be a savior to bring the world back to balance again. Sharing the same idea of the Force, they think everything is a will of the Force. The Force here exactly symbolizes God. I mean, come on, chosen by God, a will of God. That's Christian language. We can even see the massacre of Jedi, as we mentioned before.
The time has come. Execute Order 66.
As you can see, the Dark Lord gave the troops an order, Order 66, to wipe out the Jedis. They didn't even spare the younglings, making Anakin to do a filthy job. Murder, the Dark Lord nearly caused the extinction of Jedi, which leads us to recall how Hitler treated the Jews. Unethical and immoral.
Anakin Skywalker, and turned into the infamous Darth Vader. This was in fact a neat setup. The Jews believed themselves as the chosen one. To rephrase it, the ones with God up in the skies, which infers that they believe themselves as Skywalkers. By the way, that's a walker. So, if you talk about the transformation from being a Jew, from being Anakin, to the dark side, it is actually an exquisite way to convey the idea of being a Jew to a Jew killer.
received the transmission, the ideology.
Indeed, Darth Vader.
Do you think reading it can make you completely understand the power of the Force? How foolish you are! You underestimate the power of the dark side. Fear, anger, hatred, aggression. Pass to the dark side they are. Fear can make one more powerful. I myself became way much stronger after I suffered the agony of losing Padme. And my grandson, Kylo Ren, his fear of weakness forced him to be mightier. And as for Lord Sidious, he turned invisible because of the hatred toward Jedi, the hatred led by fear.
What George Lucas wants to convey is that negative feelings like fear, hatred, aggression are extremely influential to how we'll act, using words as path to the dark side and making you stronger to infer that these effects affected us negatively and strongly. The comparison of the dark side and the bright also shows that these emotions often mislead us. Yet, we often regret our behaviors after the misleading because people act impetuously after seduced by them. Like in the end, Anakin felt sorry about the choice he made of becoming Darth Vader and saved his son instead of immersing himself into the dark side. There is actually an interesting background story behind the switch between Anakin and Darth Vader, which includes some religious beliefs, and Vader will tell this himself. It's too much Paul, Vader.
The old Christian story is what behind the scenes. When I was set as Anakin, I was actually believed to be the chosen one and the savior to bring the world back to balance, which, to some degree, is the idea of Jesus. However, when facing the seduction of the dark side, I walked on the wrong path and became Satan, like the story of Angel Lucifer.
Based on the old religion, this is the character lingering in the dark side and the bright. In order to not offend the Christians, George Lucas really let the bright win this game and let Anakin fulfill his destiny of being the savior, being Jesus. And that, my friend, is an extremely interesting story. This both hero and villain character really makes people crazy about him. Yet there is still an untold secret of his involving the hierarchy of the Empire.
I'm here today to make a confession. I'm actually pretty stressful doing the job in the Empire. People are eager for my position. They wish to replace me, and I shall guard my place. I've seen too much of the hierarchical fights, and I'm afraid that this might happen to me. Have you seen the movie Rogue One? Well, it's worth seeing. It's full of hierarchical shifts. I don't like killing and being a bad guy, but if I don't do so, I might get demoted by my lord. It's tiring, you know.
I get it, Vader. I know all the pain of yours. I know how stressful and tiring you are. Yeah, everyone. It's not easy to do the job well. But Vader, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever considered of changing a job?
Well, it's easy for you to say. Do you have any idea of how unstable the society is these days? Not to mention unpredictable rebel strikes. It's already good enough to get employed.
I get it. Do you have anything else to say?
Well, that's all. Well, I need my job, so I'm gonna need a transmission back. Sorry. No, I'm not. No ideologies, the secret of Star Wars. The deepest message hidden in the things, the untold story behind everything. They have just revealed. Hope the rebels didn't get it. Oops. Thank you.
my elbow.
I believe that. 有没有人要先给他们一些回馈？我们请下一组先准备，好吗？有没有人要给一些回馈？把那个你觉得很棒可以收起来。我想问一下，他们到底准备了你猜的吗？都经营在这个 Star Wars，
应该是2个礼拜。
就是全英文，我们是只用英文上场，就是没有弄过中文的。
就英文啊。
但是应该这样说，就是他们应该本身就是也是 Star Wars 的热爱者。对了，哦，所以应该是用他的这个生命哦，在演出这个感觉。其实你可以感觉出来他的那个热情跟 passion。还有没有？来。
戏剧效果真的做得很棒，然后尤其是那个
黑武士学超像，
太厉害了，就是他那个声音语调，然后也不会觉得紧张，然后呢是做得很棒，超棒的。
很棒哦，就是给底下的观众有这样的感觉，就是表演者一个很大的一个。
你讲话是不是在学那个诚实预告啊？感觉超像的。我都听到是诚实预告吗？然后就觉得很爽。很兴奋。
你这样说，他就是在学那个，就是感觉上，学的非常的像，觉得。还有没有来？
我觉得像这样把那个电影剧情拍的就非常好，就是不仅演得很投入，我们也看得非常投入，就是感觉就是大家都在观赏一块，然后我们觉得非常精彩。
就身临其境在当中，非常的有感觉，对不对？还有没有其他的老师或者是同学？有吗？没有的话，我就节省时间，我就很快速的讲一下我看到的感觉。我觉得很棒的地方就是他们中间的穿插跟他们的配合，其实是你会觉得是天衣无缝的，我觉得配合的非常的好。那你有没有注意到他们的那个在讲内容的时候，其实他们透过他们的演练，其实没什么赘词，就是他们那个词。没什么追求，而且甚至还可以押韵，还有一些碰，还有一些押韵，所以你可以听出他们的那个演练跟他们的规划上面是很完整的，有听出你们中间的那个细腻度。那我觉得有一个很棒的地方，就是他们的资料搜集不但只是搜集 Star Wars 的相关的资料之外，他也去把跟时事现在结合的东西，就变成一种诙谐的感觉，去来做搭配。那能够在演讲这么严肃的场合，或者说是比较正式的场合当中，搭入一些很诙谐、幽默或时事的东西，去把它做调配的话，这种然后调味料加上去，其实是很厉害的。就是能够在这个场合当中又可以适时调配，然后他都知道你们就会笑，或你们就会吓到，然后再这样他可以抓得到的话，那其实是很有规划、很有安排的，可以看得出来他们的用心跟那个规划。是不是请英文的老师或者可以给我们一些不同的回馈跟建议？老师要不要先？毕竟是他们的老师是应该没有，但是也是那个嘛，就是模拟联合国的老师。
大家好。那因为其实我是他们班的任课老师，所以我应该看过第2、3次了。对，那因为其实跟他们礼拜四讲的时候应该差蛮多的，因为在礼拜四在班上讲说，大概班上一半以上同学跟他们讲说他们是看不懂的，他们有做蛮多的调整跟有在做修改。不过应该大家会发现他们时间是有超过蛮多的，所以应该会再提他们就是下次真的要准时，要把它准时完结掉这样子。
不过我来问一下大家，你们刚刚在听的时候有没有觉得大部分的内容其实可以理解、可以听得懂？所以听得懂会举手。就大部分可以理解那个讲，很好啊，那这就是我觉得这是一个很大的进步跟也恭喜。来，那老师，
我真的觉得很棒，因为让我看到就是台湾的文化，如果像你这样去发展的话，无限的可能。恭喜你！
其实我蛮好奇，就是因为我是第一次来看这个短讲的这个发表。我觉得这一组会做得很好，原因在于其实他们的 genre 就是题目的取材，就是很多组我不是说不好，而是这个坦白讲，东南亚的教育政策、提供的歧视，或者说，我觉得对一个高中生来讲，我觉得关心社会议题是很棒的。可是到底你对于这些题目你的熟悉度、你的了解的程度在哪边？那你站在台上的时候，我觉得给人家的那种感觉跟温度，那大家都知道，其实坦白讲，这个 Star Wars 他们讲的东西是很深的。他们还讲到什么 ecocentrism， 然后还有很多的犹太的故事，大家都举手刚说听得懂。可是我真的问你们，这是100%完全理解他们在讲什么吗？这很多东西我们是不知道的。可是就算我们不知道，你透过他们，我们可以很清楚了解，哇，他们其实是很有温度在告诉你。 那是因为他们花了，就像刚刚那个郑老师有讲，他们是花了应该10几年在看 Star Wars。那这个主题也是他们手写的，对，所以到底你在取一个题目的时候，不知道是老师指定，还是说你自己找，还是为了因为感觉一个成果发表好像必须是一个 issue， 是个什么东西要被讨论的吗？还是也许是只要你喜欢的东西，你就可以讲。
你们是怎么选这个题目？
选这个题目，对，我也好奇。
We are Star Wars lovers. That's all.
他是 lover， 我真的是热爱的这件事情。你也是喽。
一中那个 B 榜上一集也是一样，因为他们是 lovers，所以他们就会愿意 devote their time and to preparation，
甚至愿意把它准备的越来越好。但我觉得这个也跟每一个共备的社群在做的主题性的东西也会有不同的关系。那我觉得这个是都有不一样的启发跟学习。谢谢你们带给我们不一样的启发。